And German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius visits Manila, the first German defense minister to do so, as the Philippines and Germany commit to signing a military cooperation agreement this year. Welcome back. You're still watching The Big Story here on One News.
PCSO General Manager Mel Robles has hired a high-powered lawyer to file a defamation suit against Claire Contreras, aka the vlogger Maharlika. Attorney Camille Vasquez, the person he hired, is a known litigator with expertise in defamation cases, having represented Hollywood star Johnny Depp in his lawsuit against former wife Amber Heard. She has also represented other Hollywood actors, including Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lopez, and Ben Affleck. Robles and his wife sued the U.S.-based Contreras at the Central District Court of California for her, quote, daily barrage of vicious, unjustifiable, and blatantly false online attacks, unquote. According to Robles, alias Maharlika posted more than 20 videos on her YouTube channel called Boljak TV, accusing him of assisting terrorists, contract killing, and stealing, among others. Maharlika has over 300,000 subscribers and she currently lives in Los Angeles, California. Her claim to fame or infamy for critics came during the 2022 presidential elections when she became a content creator to support the Bongbong Marcos-Sara Duterte tandem. For more on this case, we are joined tonight by PCSO General Manager Mel Robles in the flesh. Mr. Robles, thanks for coming all the way here to talk to us about this case.
Thank you very much and good evening.
So your suit, which you filed over the weekend, is making headlines now. I don't know if you intended this to be the case, but because of the attorney that you hired, Camille Vasquez, who shot to fame when she represented Hollywood star Johnny Depp in his defamation case against Amber Heard, that must be costing you a fortune. Why did you go with her?
Well, I filed the case July 15, and yes, it's not cheap, but you know, because I was taught by my father, di ba rin na mawala ang yaman, wag lang ang ngalan. Reputation guided with your life. That's what my father always tell me. I wouldn't mind if it were work government before. I'm not onion skinned, and I can roll with the punches, but accusing me of hiring to kill her for 1 billion pesos at first, and then changing it, no, maybe it's 10 million taken from the PCSO winnings. So it's a little absurd, and the only proof is that I was in the U.S. She didn't even know that I was there on a holiday with my family, which we usually do, even when I wasn't in PCSO. So, and then she published a photo of my daughter and my wife, telling they were thieves, and you know, hate crime is very prevalent. You put a minor there and tell that his father is planning to murder you and contracted a killer. So what do you expect with that? I said, this is too much. This has to stop.
Sorry, was that published on her,
Yes,
on her
that was
vlog?
already in the
Because I was trying to
complaint.
look it up, but I couldn't find
In
it.
the complaint, it was there.
So the picture of your daughter was published on her
Yes,
blog,
yes.
as well as the accusation that you were trying to kill her
Yes,
in the U.S.
yes.
Okay.
The accusation was, I believe, you were hiring a hitman for so and
Yes,
so amount,
yes,
right?
yes.
What I want to know, Mr. Robles, where do you think this all started from? Like, where have you guys had a run-in before? Do you guys have a relationship, kahit professional or what? Like,
I met
where
her
is this
about
coming
3
from?
times during the campaign.
Okay.
She was being asked to be a guest there, maybe about 3 times. And in all those 3 instances, not more than 15 minutes. It's very, very casual, really.
So just small talk.
Yeah, in fact, during when the counting was over, we were at the quick count. She asked me, oh, what can you say? I said, well, finally I can wear pink. That's exactly my words, because I didn't really know her. And then after that, I was appointed. And then after the rantings of Vic Rodriguez, she made an attack already on everybody. After Vic Rodriguez was fired, she attacked already. And of course, you know what this group are after. They have a group. But really, for me, that's part of politics. But my daughter's not part of politics. The life
So
of my
was
daughter...
the inclusion of her posting or using your daughter's photo, who is a minor, was that what really pushed you to file this case?
Yes, that's really, you know, that the emotional scar, not to mention the real threat to the life. No, you publish a minor there and accuse the father of planning to kill you.
But Mr. Robles, have you tried settling this issue with Maharlika herself? Have you contacted her regarding these allegations? Was there an attempt?
But I don't know her really. I don't really have any relationship with her. How do I do that? She keeps on doing that every day on a daily basis. I was offended. I called her and said, that's a natural.
I guess her point being there are other ways to settle this apart from going to a district court in California, right? Which is going to take a long time and it's going to cost you a lot of money as well. Why not just reach out and say, or have a representative reach out and say, that's libelous, that's defamatory?
I don't know how to
Take it
do
down.
that, really. I don't know how to do that. But she keeps on doing that. You know, malice is established when you keep on doing it all over again. It has already been established. She has been doing that, saying without an iota of evidence. Only allegations, pure allegations, nothing presented. Imagine killing her because I was in the U.S. and I was there for a holiday. So just because I was there, and all others, including my face, calling me a jackfruit. So it's ganun ka absurd. No? It's really absurd. And say, how do I talk to someone like that? Was nothing, everything. I'm the bagman of everybody. You'll be surprised, but that one I can take. That's politics. All of that. If you count them, there are more than 20. It may be even more if you go back. But putting the life in my name, which has nothing to do with the job that I do, that one is too much.
What is your guess as to why she's been targeting you?
Maybe it's her politics. No? She attacks everybody who is with the administration, current administration, but that's her politics. She can say that. That's probably because she's very active in the destabilization moves, calling the president to resign, calling the president anything, producing the fake video. She's even admitting it came from me. What are you looking at? It's from me. The fake videos that were posted when everybody else with her took down the posts. And then she was, no, it's from me.
But there are a lot of administration allied officials and politicians who aren't getting as much attention from her, that are more prominent, that are more public. So why you, right?
Why you?
I mean, what is your best guess here? Because we also
We also are not sure, like why, so
I
to
really
speak,
don't
why
know.
she's picking on you. If you feel that she is picking on you, do you have any like best guess as to why? We already know when it started, but would you know? Hazard a guess.
That's why I want to go to court. Maybe she's right, but let's sort it out in the proper forum.
Maybe she's
where there are
right, that you-
Maybe she's right, but let's listen to her in court, right? Don't take it from me. It would be self-serving if I say
maybe she
anything.
does have evidence against
Maybe
you.
she
you're
has
right.
evidence, and I want to hear that. No, because anything I say will be, you're being defensive. Now, I want to see, and it's in fact good for her. Let it be a forum for her to say it.
So
We're
she's also-
asking for a jury trial. Try to convince her jury.
So what you're saying, Mr. Robles, is that she's also never reached out to you,
Nothing.
except via what she airs on her vlog.
Yeah, I get it. You want clicks, you want followers, but this is really the difference between established journalism and bloggers. Really, they need the clicks, they need the clickbait, they need the views. But unfortunately, where is the proof? Allegations are easy; they abound. But just one. I just need one. That's why I simplified my complaint. I simplified it. If you have it, if I plan to kill you, let's listen.
It's just you're only suing her for defamation, correct?
For my wife, yes, and the invasion of privacy. I'm
Oh, also
simplifying
invasion
it.
of privacy.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm simplifying it. Maybe she has something. So let's see. That's why I wanted and she's always taunting everybody here who she's maligning. Said, sue me in the States. It's where you should go. And so I'm bringing it there. Because she even has a standing warrant here. You know that?
That's
Yes,
right.
yes.
Also for
Senate hearing,
by the
libel.
designer. I don't know. I
No,
don't
the
remember
designer sued her in the States. 2 designers sued her in
the
the
U.S.
States.
That's right.
I was the 3rd to sue her in the States.
We are talking about California, though, which is pretty liberal when it comes to freedom of speech as well.
I know. That's why it's not
So the
criminal.
burden of proof is going to be on you. Are you confident about this case?
Of course, of course. Of course, you're asking why I'm bringing a lawyer. She's the best lawyer available in terms of reputation and brand management. We've seen that. So if I'm going here, if I'm coming here, I'm going to bring in the best because my reputation has no
And as far
price.
as you know, these videos attacking you, they're still up on her
Yes,
page.
it's still up on her page.
So they haven't been taken down.
They haven't been taken down.
I wanted to, we want to talk more about this case, but honestly, they're running out of time, and there is another issue I wanted to talk to you about, which is the Senate hearings. You are the PCSO General Manager. Several months ago, there were a series of hearings that the Senate conducted over the multiple winners.
Yes.
Naging meme nga yung lone better, right? Because almost every day
That's
or
wrong, actually.
nearly
There
every
is no lone
draw. I know, of course, there's no real, there's no
lone better.
person
That's
named
a
lone
misnomer.
better. It just became a
It's a
meme.
misnomer.
Yeah, it
See,
just became a meme.
Even with the terminology, it's wrong.
So anyway, so Senator Rafi was the one who was leading that investigation, and he found at one point that there was someone had won 36 times, for
No,
instance,
someone
from July.
collected. And
Someone
he even,
collected, correct.
He even
So it's a
admitted in
claimant.
his press con after that, yeah, it is possible.
Right. So
It
it's
is
not a winner,
possible.
it's a claimant.
It could be,
Yes.
but whoever holds the ticket, as I said, is the legal winner.
So
Because that's the nature of our tickets. They are bearer instrument. It's like money. Whoever holds the money is the owner of the money. So it's the way with the ticket. There you have, and the practice in the provinces, because you have to claim it from to the office, more than 10,000, you claim it there, and they come to you, and for the longest time, hey, please claim this for me. Maybe they have an arrangement, I don't know, but it's really the practice. So you will see that all the time, and even now, you can see that recorded, that whoever claims that will be the recorded winner. But that doesn't mean he's the winner.
Is that because of safety concerns for the actual winner?
No, it's for practical reasons.
Or just for tracking?
For practical reasons. Which one? We have to record this because for whatever taxes paid will be charged to the one claiming. So that's the way it is. So, okay, then with the favor, or maybe they have an arrangement, or maybe, okay, you can charge your fare there, because it will be very impractical for people to, if you're a lot of people who want. By the way, these are not jackpots, these are small tier the winners. No?
So what is the rule if you win the jackpot, like yung hundreds of millions,
Or you have to claim it at the office.
personally?
At the main
Hindi na
office.
pwedeng may representative.
Well, it's very dangerous because they might run away with
Yeah.
that.
But back then, I remember there was talk of changing the rules. For instance,
Changing the rules.
Not allowing claimants to claim money on behalf of other people, or having other public officials present at the drawing of the winners.
You know, when you talk about possibilities, they are endless. But in terms of practicality, well, if they can just, if everybody goes there and spends for their fare, when that's really the way really it is, and you want to register the name of every bettor, my goodness, when will you end? These are thousands, and they're queuing up there. You have to register. It's impractical. The reason why it was done is for practicality.
So sa madaling salita, this is the parang pinaka-tried and tested and simplest way and most
it's
efficient
been
way.
going on for the last 25, just 20 years or so, and nothing's wrong with that.
So no controversies from the winners.
You're not looking to institute any changes after the hearings.
Well, the e-lot will solve that because you're recorded in the phone. So the winner is recorded there. The digitization will solve that.
There was also another issue with the e-Lotto, something about a 14% commission for the operator, which supposedly, has that matter been settled?
That was never implemented. You know, that was a proposal of proponents, and it was never implemented.
For what reason?
Well, because it's an ongoing, again, proposals are just that, proposals. Everybody can propose anything. But will it be implemented? I think the proper person to answer all those hearings is the one who instituted them or who called for them. Because we're just waiting here, we'll be available for another hearing. That's how this government works. We are resource people, and we give them the information for them to craft laws. Yeah.
So sir, even if an individual has claimed, sabihin natin, more than 30 times, the PCSO won't be launching any investigation, or that doesn't affect the truthfulness of the result of the Lotto?
No. It's, I said, and the legal term is bearer instrument. You hold the ticket, it's yours.
Okay. Even if you put your name?
Oh, no, that's a
Pag
different
iba na
thing.
yun,
That's why
okay.
we advise winners to sign it. If you don't want it to be used and lost and used by anybody or claimed by anybody, write your name and sign it.
And sign it.
How common is it that winners or people who do play lotto, no tumataya sa lotto, do they really write their names?
No, not much.
Not
But the
much.
jackpot maybe. I think the jackpot because it's
Of
really
course.
big. But yung the day-to-day 2,500, they win that.
Okay, that's
There are
good
others.
advice though.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
It's written at the back of the ticket.
Is it?
Please write and sign.
Yes. Or
Okay.
else someone else.
All
can
right,
claim.
sorry, we are out of time, but just one to circle back to the first topic that we tackled, which is your suit against the Maharlika vlogger. What's next step for that? You have filed the papers, and
Well, she knew
what's next
already
in the
about
process?
this a long time.
She has been
This is-
served?
Yes, July 15 pa ito eh. So she knew that. She knows about this. And why she's keeping quiet, I don't know. That's maybe her strategy, I don't know.
Okay, you ready to take this to the end?
Yes, of course. Reputation, guarded with your life.
Okay. And on that note, we will leave the discussion. Thank you so much for your time tonight,
Thank you.
PCSO General Manager Mel Robles.
Thank you very much.
Well, now shifting over to national defense, the Philippines and Germany are hoping to sign a defense cooperation deal by the end of the year. German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius is here in Manila for a bilateral meeting with Defense Chief Gibo Teodoro. He also paid a courtesy call on President Bongbong Marcos in Malacanang. Pistorius is the first German defense minister to visit the Philippines, and the trip comes as the Philippines and Germany celebrate 70 years of diplomatic relations. As for the bilateral meet, the two defense officials discussed regional issues in the Indo-Pacific and Ukraine, with both of them highlighting the need for diplomatic efforts to continue. They also touched on territorial disputes in the maritime front as they opposed unilateral expansive claims. Both officials stressed the need to protect freedom of navigation and overflight that's consistent with the United Nations Convention of the Law of the Seas, or UNCLOS. They also reaffirmed the 2016 arbitral ruling on the South China Sea as legally binding.
It is our obligation to strengthen the maritime order, and we are living up to it. The United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS, is valid. We call on all countries to adhere to it. But we need to do more than stand up for UNCLOS. We need to contribute to de-escalation. This is only possible if we keep all channels of communication open, including those to China. By participating in the Indo-Pacific deployment, we uphold the rules-based international order.
Well, something to watch out for is the Philippines Defense Cooperation Agreement with Germany that's expected to be signed by the end of the year. The deal is seen paving the way for expanded training between the two countries' armed forces and the possible sale of German weapons to add to Philippine military assets.
All right, we'll be taking another quick break for now. Right after that, we will be speaking with economist Jonathan Ravelas about the global equity market sell-off. That's when Big Story returns. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. You're still watching Big Story here in One News. Okay, it was a bloody Monday across Asia and a bloody start to Ghost Month, with the region bearing the brunt of a market sell-off amid fears of a U.S. recession, along with disappointing tech earnings. Major U.S. indices tumbled last week following a weaker than expected U.S. jobs report. Dismal earnings from tech firms like Amazon, Google, parent Alphabet, and Intel also added to the selling pressure. Equities plunged across Europe and Asia as well. And even our own local bourse took a hit, with the PSEI down nearly 2.6%, now sitting at 6434.73. All counters were in the red, led by, as you can see, industrial and property, both losing more than 3% each. The peso also slipped against the dollar, now sitting at 57.9, although that's slightly up from its closing price of 58.08 last Friday. Okay, so joining us tonight to talk about this global sell-off is economist Jonathan Ravelas. He's also a senior advisor at Reyes Tacandong and Company. John, good to see you again. Thanks for joining us.
Good evening, ladies. Thank you for having me.
You know, we always like to call you in the big days, and today is a big day, although for all the wrong reasons. We are seeing a huge sell-off across Asia, whether that's stocks, currencies, crypto, gold, oil, everything is down. What is going on? This is the end of days.
Well, I think, let's focus on the Philippines. We're a bystander here. I think what we really saw was really flight to safety, and I guess the winner is the 10-year U.S. Treasury. So from probably 4.25 last week, it's now 3.75. So we had a risk-off event. And the question is, will the Fed really cut rates sooner than later, right? So again, the other factor is that the Japanese central bank raised rates by 15 basis points, and that also created an appreciation on the Japanese yen that caused a sell-off in Japanese stocks. So they were actually two events that came in together that created the sell-off. And I think what probably has already transpired in the U.S. market of more than 3 days of selling, hopefully we could see some bargain hunting. And this is what a lot of analysts would like to say, that there could at least be a dead cat bounce, so to speak.
Okay.
And for us in the Philippines, tomorrow is an inflation number, and come Thursday is the GDP number. So hopefully that should spark some bargain hunting for us. But if there's no let off from the selling that's happening in Europe and in the US, then we expect the market to probably again retest the lows of 6.4.
Well, a lot of analysts and traders, Jonas, are saying that they actually expected this volatility to come in on the back of the U.S. jobs report, on the back of a hawkish BOJ or Bank of Japan. What are your thoughts? And for those investors here in the Philippines, what mindset should they take? Kalma lang ba?
Well, I think for those that have who are taking a long-term view and probably have not been in the market for quite some time, this is actually an opportunity to look at potential stocks that are already giving potential 6 to around 7% in terms of dividend yields, especially those big blue chip companies that offer dividends. And to a certain extent, the REITs that were issued then that were doing 3 to 4% might be in the 6.5 to 7.5%. So these are actually potential bargain hunts investors can take. But these are actually for those who have not been invested. For those who are already invested, let me put it this way. Do you like catching a falling knife? So unless you are an expert, the best way to do it is allow the knife to fall at this point in time, and probably wait a bit at this point in time.
Grabe naman, John. Nobody likes to catch a falling knife.
Unless you have a leather glove, perhaps. So is there a leather glove that you're seeing?
But
Yeah.
but across assets, I mentioned it's down across assets, that stocks, cryptocurrencies, gold, oil, everything is down. So where would you put your money in right now?
Well, basically, I guess the safety of bonds, especially now that there's an anticipation of probably in the Philippines trying to see a 25 basis point hike in August, which prior to all of this sell-off, the market was trying to break 6,800 because it seems that the potential cut in August is most likely. Although my view is probably that should happen later this year when when we have more signs that inflation is indeed coming down. One data point might not make it at 3.7. tomorrow I'm actually looking at around 3.9%. So I would probably wait probably after a September data, assuming that 3.9 is tomorrow's number, then I'd probably wait another data point to see whether that's just a bounce. And because of Typhoon Karina, and probably September could probably be deliver a much lower inflation number. Then a cut closer to year end would most likely. And the impact of delaying the rate cut means we're sure that inflation worries may have subsided and we're starting to see it coming down. I guess one thing to look forward is that next year, most likely there could be as much as 100 basis point cut in the BSP rates.
Okay, I wanted to ask you about the Philippine peso, which is now below 58. A lot of people are really liking that. But as we know, that's also because the US dollar went down and as the yen strengthened. Now, is this going to hold? Is this temporary so people can start planning, people who have to buy or import a lot of things, producers, traders?
Okay, at the start of the year, the peso was at around 55.37. So we were surprised in the second quarter that the peso depreciated again on the back that at the start of the year, everybody was looking at 3 to 5 cuts from the Fed and the local central bank, which never materialized. So given this route, and sooner or later, if the Philippines were to cut ahead of the Fed, then definitely the near-term repercussion is the peso to depreciate. So this might be an opportune time for companies who have demand for dollars to take advantage. In fact, I think the lowest trade today was around 57.68, and we closed at 57.90. So the 55.75 to around 57.68 appears to be a strong resistance on the part of the peso, but on the part of the dollar, it seems to be a strong support. People are taking advantage to buy dollars.
What's your forecast for the year end for the peso?
So I'm actually looking at around 58 by year end.
So still breaching 58. It's not going to strengthen from here on. You think?
I think a weaker peso should be in the interest of the country, especially since 2022. It has actually boosted consumption, especially for OFWs and the BPO. And this is where we get the strength of our consumption from these two, the BPOs and eventually the OFWs. And you can actually add tourism to that story.
Okay, and with regards to those invested in the Philippine Stock Exchange, the PSE, it was down over 2% today. Do you think it will go down lower for all the sale or bargain hunters out there? Should they buy now?
Well, the risk, I think the risk at this point in time is a break of 6.4. I've been saying that the range is between 6.4 to 6.8. So we initially saw a test of the 6,400, but it held back at 6,432. So if there will be still more of the sell-off of over 400 points in Wall Street, then definitely that would be tested. But if, let's say, we see some bargain hunting, we can probably still say that we're range bound between 6.4 and 6.8. I think the critical for us is August 8 and August 15, where we expect probably the BSP to cut rates. That's positive for the market. And August 8, assuming that the second quarter GDP is 6.1%. So that's my forecast. I think the average expectations around 6%.
John, quickly, what does that mean? Sit on the sidelines for now and wait till August 8? Wait for more data, is what you're saying?
Okay, the problem is we're in a ghost month. And typically, the ghost month is, I guess, in one interview I had in May with you people, I said sell stocks in May and run away.
Right.
So from 6.7, we're now at around 6.4. So typically, August, okay, the reason for the major sell-offs, typically, Western people are taking their summer. So
Yeah.
we here at the East are affected by their profit taking from their portfolio. So it might be a good time to probably position yourselves, probably for a late, probably a fourth quarter rally. And prior to this sell-off, we've seen 12 to 15% earnings growth for some companies that have already reported their second quarter and first half earnings, so which were good. It was only capped at around 6.8 for the market, mainly because concerns over the U.S. That it is heading towards a recession with the job numbers last Friday. But if we were to take that out, it should be positive for the local market. It's just that, as again, we're an innocent bystander in the sell-off. So if you can withstand the volatility and you get to see prices closer to 6.4 or lower with the risks at 6,000, then bearing that in mind, it might be a good time to take some positions and probably be surprised of a year-end rally.
You're gonna need nerves of steel for that, though. We're gonna have to leave that
I
there.
think all right, I'll give you one thing to think about. Next year, most likely we will grow at least 6.3%.
GDP.
Why? Because GDP. Because there's an election next year. There's national election. There's additional wind that will drive the markets next year. So when are you going to buy? Of course, when the markets are low. So this is where the risk, I think, at this point in time is the market is cheap, but could get cheaper. So if you're kuripot, you might want to wait a little bit. But if you have, if you want to be bold, this is the right time to be bold. Buy.
Wow, very strong recommendation there. But we will have to leave that there for tonight. Jonathan Ravelas, thank you so much for your time. Economist, market strategist, and senior advisor at Reyes Takandong and Company.
Whew, okay, so much tips, so much news today, and it's only Monday, but that's it for the big story tonight. Again, 1 a.m.
1 a.m.
EJ Obiena.
That's
All
right.
Pauline?
Aiming for the third gold.
Why not?
Fearless forecast.
We are One News, all sides, all the time.
Thanks for tuning in. Have a good night.